This is Mr. Humboldt Hippie here. We're checking out a barren wasteland industrial yard, and this is just part of before and after, and how it is you can go about being responsible to the earth, and/or what you can do to in a barren wasteland. Like most people have crappy yards that are all rocks and clay and chemicals and runoff and different stuff that's of no good to them, and they can't garden and vegetables and whatever food and live and enjoy their yard and stuff. And the point to this video is those topics, and what can you do with 5 to 10 feet to 20 feet to 100 feet to 1,000 feet. What can you do with toxicated soil? What can you do with all rocks and clay? Well, right here we've got about 3 feet by 6 feet by 10 feet. This right here would be enough to feed you. You could grow so many different plants and stuff right here. You get partial shade and different things. It's behind your house or shop. You could do a lot. It's just a few feet. You see these plants right here, these are growing, and these could be heavily poisoned and sprayed, and they still live. They live throughout this poison, and by them growing and living, they're able to provide a canopy for worms and different things that then start living under it, and then they start making the soil better, and then there's other bugs that come and eat those worms, and then they start pooping right there, and then that allows bacterias and molds to start growing on that feces. And then you have this here mold, and it starts coming up, and then it's literally reforesting the ground. And at this point you now have all this other stuff, and then you got flowers start coming up from dandelions and various things, but then they put off their spores and their seeds, and then spiders and different things start living in it, and then you have all of these, and then these grow even taller and provide even a bigger canopy, and then you've got birds want to start living in it because they're going to put a nest in there, and so now you got a bird's nest. Well, raccoons eat birds, so now you're going to start attracting raccoons, and that's going to leave even bigger chunks of feces, and it's going to start bringing in different things. And feces is actually an amazing, powerful nutrient for the ground that a lot of different bugs and different things eat, and it spreads it around, and it allows fertilization for the ground. It's not something you would notice, but all the bugs and different things, these are all microscopic little things that are not noticeable until they add up. And when they add up, all of a sudden you have this, which is still a wasteland to the average person, but this is actually, if it's able to grow this, it's able to grow other things. And if you just mulched all of this up and let it sit there, then all of this green grass and weeds and different things is going to turn into what's called a mulch, and it's going to be able to improve the ground even more, and then even more things are going to live in there, and becomes a floodplain. And then you have maybe frogs and salamanders and slugs and different things, and the slugs and the different bugs, they're going to live on this here piece of cardboard, and they're going to chew that up, and they're going to turn this into a power nutrient for the ground. It's called humus, and then once again even more things are going to grow in it. And this grass, as wasteland as it is, actually provides water for the soil. Roots take away all the nutrients of another plant, but at the same time they retain water in a soil where this is all clay and dirt, and there would be no water. It'd just be dry as can be. So what could you do with this? Well, you ever considered gold panning? How many different crystals and gold and minerals are in rocks and different things? Did you know that most of these plants are actually medicinal, that these are wildflowers, that this geranium right here is something that you might be able to market and sell? Maybe that's the new cancer curing heal all to the nation. This bone plant right here could easily maybe be your financial success of the future if you could figure out what it is and what to do with it. These right here, this is burnt clover. This is the only thing that you would need to grow in your yard. These little round pinwheels to reforest your whole yard. This whole yard this whole yard right here can turn into a Garden of Eden just by growing these in your yard. It's pretty hard to tell right now, but these have huge little chunks of what's called nitrogen fixing balls on them, and they're actually putting huge amounts of nitrogen back into the soil and turning it into a humus and a nice of a muddy kind of mineral rich ground, as opposed to the grass is going to retain the water, and then this is going to put nitrogen. Nitrogen is the main building compound that everything needs to grow. Plants grow really well with nitrogen. They got way too many rocks and minerals from the rocks, so they got plenty of that. So each one of these little things is going to do something for the soil. And so you get your mealybugs and your snails, and they're going to chew this right up, and so every single section of everything is going to do something. And so you come into this yard and you go, okay, so what the hell does any of that mean, and what can I do? Well, you can start taking advantage of that, and you can start growing anything because you have a canopy, and you can start putting things in pots and just lining them up and taking advantage of this whole area. You could dump a few of those piles of dead leaves and brush and stuff right here in the corner or something, and it'll start piling up, and then next thing you know, you'll have a nice little pile of dirt. And then you got blackberries and stuff. You could plant some vines right here, and they'll go up these trees, and they'll provide even more of a canopy. And now you don't have this dry, barren land. You got this shaded area over here where there is going to be plants that will enjoy growing. And this is true, and it's real, and it can easily turn from this barren area into this green, lush place. And these blackberries, they're invasive. They're going to root right into the ground, and this is going to be a huge blackberry bush if not taken care of. It's not going to stay barren. It looks horrible. It looks like this is the way it is, but if you did nothing and never learned or tried to do anything, then nature and God is going to take right over, and they're going to take over this whole industrial, toxified, sprayed with deadly poisons for 10 years to kill these things. No problem. They're going to come back and they're going to take over, because that's what microbiology is. That's what biology is. It destroys and breaks down everything, and it reforests the land. And these right here, these buttercups, and these are beautiful golden yellow flowers that are going to provide pollinators, and then you're going to have more bees and different things, and you're actually going to be providing honey and different things to the neighborhood. And a lot of this stuff is food. You can eat this. This is food right here. This is food. This is a dandelion. It's got a white latex. This latex is a medicinal property that will provides a medicinal has medicinal properties in it, in these leaves and different things. This white latex, I can't quite get enough to show you. But anyway, all of these plants are medicinal, and therefore valuable, and food if you were hungry. And you have your horsetail sequoiums here and different things. You can sell these. These are sellable plants, and this provides saline, takes all the saline and mineral out of the ground. So if it was over toxified, these are the sort of plants that are cleaning up the radiation and the toxins in the ground. And as you can see, by dumping your stuff over time, it provides this mound of dirt and different things that then things can live in easier. And then they start building it up, and you got this a lot of options in a big open empty yard. There's a lot of things that you can do. And the choice that you do with your yard is your choice. To leave it like this and let it just get overran by weeds and stuff, or if you want to turn this into a Garden of Eden. Time and time again, the average person just can't make that happen. But these are clovers. These are hops clovers right here. You could pretty much put this in your beer. This is good food here, and these are all reforesting the ground. Like I said, this is providing so much nitrogen to the ground right here that this whole patch is just starting to bring in other plants and weeds that'll, like I said, you're going to have a whole lawn here eventually, and this is a place that's heavily poisoned to kill these things, and that just helps them come back twice as strong. I mean, not literally, but that's the power of plants. They're just going to come back, and if you do something positive with that area, you'll see how quick things can turn into a lush garden. So this is chicory, by the way, and it'll always, you'll always gonna have the plant. It's gonna always take over, no matter, you're gonna have that in the most wild and desolate area. Nothing can grow here except for these beautiful medicinal plants that are actually $20 a pound, and is food, and may heal you, and these things are of real importance. And so think about this. When you see this big yard here, you see the so-called nothing and dead land, and it's all bad, and and whatever, and what could, who would want to, why, how to care? Well, realize that this is Mr. Humboldt Hippie, and this is 1.5 to 2 inches off of my Garden of Eden that I have endless amount of videos on, showing you the ability of reforestation of the land, and the ability of these plants and their purpose and use of the euphorbias and their medicinal value, and leucocene, the white latex that's in these plants, and the little ants that are going to crawl up in the plant and bring a virus from the other plant to your plant. That's real stuff right there. Medicine, so anyway, check me out for part 2 of Garden of Eden, Mr. Humboldt Hippie. Peace.